Okay, I'm live. And for this stream, it's going to be the first time, not just live streaming to YouTube, but this is also going to be a live stream to Rumble. Fingers crossed. I went through the whole thing of figuring out the RTMP thing, setting it all up, paid the fee, the monthly fee, and here we are. Like I say, let's see how it's going to work out. Hopefully, it'll be all right. I noticed at least the connection is looking good over on the old YouTube side of things. Let's just check and see what's going on over at Rumble. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay, I do see it. Okay, so I'm seeing it on Rumble. Looks good quality. Seen on YouTube. It looks good quality. So, hey, so far, so good. Of course, we're only, what, 2 minutes into it. But hey, we'll take what we can get for now, right? Anyways, folks, yeah, this is some crazy stuff, as you folks realize. And I mean, hate to beat a dead horse and all, but yeah, it's not like I haven't known this for a while. We knew this was coming, right? So it shouldn't be a shocker for most people that actually watch my live streams. Actually, let me take off the YouTube and the Rumble so I don't have so much bandwidth being used up here. But yeah, like I say, we knew this was coming. Now, whether you believe the liberal insider letter, that leaked letter that I covered way back early on, what was it, like October or September? I think it was October of 2020, October of last year, when the whole plan was laid out. And I got to tell you, whether it's real or not, who could possibly know for certain, right? But I mean, either it was or whoever wrote it got a crystal ball or is some kind of a fortune teller. And yeah, I might want to get a hold of them and get some lottery numbers, I guess, right? But I mean, wholly accurate, right? Anyways, let me just check some of the comments because I do see there's a few already in the stream. And like I say, just let everyone know that not only can you find this on YouTube, because I know some people just, I won't watch anything on that YouTube. It's okay. Well, I'm giving you the option now. Watch it on Rumble. Right. I actually was trying to do it on Odyssey as well. Odyssey's in a beta testing phase for the live stream, but you have to have so many library credits or anyways, I just couldn't do it, but I'll be working on that as well. Anyways, let me get into some of these comments here. Hey, New. That's a pretty cool name. What's going on, New? Hi, Bennett. We can agree to disagree, but the way out of this is to understand we aren't on a planet. We're not? Really? Okie dokie. The globe on the shelf behind you is the root of the current slide to collectivism. I knew there was something going on with that globe. I, I was highly suspicious that something was going on. I've had some crazy things happening. And now at least I know what is responsible for this. And damn that globe and its push for collectivism. I don't quite understand where you're going with that, New, but hey, to each their own, I guess. But thanks for joining the live stream. I really appreciate that. Hey, Tommy Gunn. Hey, I have not seen you. Hey, hello, Bennett. Long time no see. How have you been? I was just going to say I haven't heard or seen your name in the chat for a while, Tommy Gunn. But I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well as well. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I mean, considering, right? And I suppose that would be the same for all of us here. Is we're doing all right considering. I will say this: doing better than a lot of the those collectivists or conformists who, like I say, I can't believe they actually are fooled to believe that if they just follow the plan, even they at this point in time be like, hey, wait a minute, fool me once, right? Fool me twice, fool me 3 times. I mean, yeah, now it's shame on me, right? I mean, they got to be really not just scratching their head, but having quite a few bouts of regret and wondering, geez, did I make the right choice after all? Maybe them anti-vaxxers, right? Or should I say critically thinking people, maybe they were onto something after all. Oh, well, I mean, you could have listened to it, but you didn't. Now, of course, that's only people that fell for the fear narrative. Hey, if you just genuinely want to get a vaccine for whatever reason that is, I'm not here to judge, right? That's to each their own. That's what it is to be a libertarian. You do you, and I do me, right? But like I say, this whole pretense of the unvaccinated, oh, we're all so terrible and misogynist, extremist, and racist, and all this stuff. Like I say, that's just Trudeau projecting. I'm pretty much sure we're aware of that. Anyways, let me go on to John Doe's here. There are a bunch of scam artists who need to completely have the rug swiped from under them. They're traitors of the people. Everyone knows it too. AI algorithms can hide their scumbag nature. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's very well could be the case. And thank you for joining the stream as well. There, John Doe is. I don't know what the reason is behind it. I gave up even trying to figure it out long ago why like channels like mine get like the most minimal of views, and I just like I say, you would drive yourself crazy constantly pondering on that. So I just do my thing. And to me, I look at it as no matter if it's showing one person that's watching the stream. Now it is a bit discouraging. Don't get me wrong, right? Sometimes I think maybe it'd be better not to have how many people are watching the stream on there, right? But no, I ain't gonna play that game, right? I just do what I do. And like I say, whether there's one person watching, 10 people watching, 100, 1,000, or 10,000 or 100,000, at the very least, I do know this: the ones who do watch, have some influence themselves and have reached out to many other Canadians. So like I say, and now I don't know if you folks have been watching, but I've been sharing a lot of this Kate Wand, Kate Wand. Anyways, I'm not 100% on her last name, but this Canadian lady is doing a great job in talking about some of the libertarian aspects of and dealing with like some of the great figureheads in history and just covering some stories from, I believe she would probably identify as a classical liberal. But either way, like I say, to me, it doesn't matter how Canadians are getting their information or where they're getting it from, right? I don't care if my ego takes it a little battering once in a while. That's fine, just as long as they're at least getting the information. To me, that's the most important thing, right? And now that I see that there are some competent people, filling up those voids and those spaces, hey, if there's less for me to do, that's fine. That's fine. Like I say, at the end of the day, individual liberty, the live, let live mentality, respecting each other's sovereignty, all these things, economic prudence and enough with the theft and all and the oppression and the tyranny. At the end of the day, that's what matters. That's what matters most. But anyways, let me move on. See, there's probably a couple more comments that I see down here. Big howdy, one and all. Howdy, Ron Sear. How you doing? Glad to see you in the stream there, sir. Good to see you. Reed Green or Red Green? Oh, it's Reed Green. Nice to see you in the stream. Actually, I'm not sure if I've seen you in the stream before, but thank you very much for joining. And by the way, if regardless of where you're watching this from, whether it's on Rumble or whether it's on YouTube, if you wouldn't mind, it's really great if you could at least hit the thumbs up or the plus or whatever it is your option to give is to show a little bit of positive feedback. Maybe and show a comment in there, whatever you want. In the chat, like I say, do whatever you want, but a little extra feedback, sharing is caring. That's what I always say, right? It always helps, that's for sure. But really appreciate you for joining the stream as well. We already did this one here. Okay, what do we got? Bonjour too. Hey, Paul Bissonnette. Nice to see Paul in the chat. And bonjour too. Or isn't it bon nuit or bonsoir? Oh, I'm not good at the night thing. Soir is that evening, and then nuit, right? Or something is night. It's been a long time, but either way, bon, whatever it is, and you're part of the country. And thank you for joining the stream as well. Okay, so like I say, let's deal with it. Let's get to it. Because yeah, like I say, we knew this was coming, and here it is. Well, they're talking about it. I mean, he's not here yet, right? It's not here yet. But not only the warning signs there, but the federal health minister, and just look at this guy, right? Wow. Anyways, is out and touting this kind of rhetoric, and look, this is a headline. I mean, it's out of all the media publications for the most part. Even CBC, imagine that, right? Maybe after that Tara left the organization, maybe CBC, maybe some of them in there's having a little bit of a reflective moment. I don't know, but either way, like I say, so this one with the headline of the National Post is "I see it coming: mandatory vaccinations on the horizon." Federal health minister says. Our people are tired, and the only way, as we know through COVID-19, be it this variant or any future variant, is through vaccination. Duclos said at a press conference Friday. Well, Jesus, this guy's the health minister, and he really he's only got vaccines are boss, folks. This is a health minister, and he's like it's a one trick pony, right? It's like vaccine. That's all he knows. Well, shouldn't there be a little bit more involved with being the health minister of a country than relying solely on one size fits all approach for this? But no, of course not. Of course not. Like I say, the most incompetent, petty, right? Vengeful. I could use lots of words to describe these vile individuals. But yeah, to suggest or to pretend that vaccines are the only way out of it, and not just that they're the only way out of it, but in addition to that, well, the only way then is not just that the vaccines are there, which means that here's something that'll save you if you need it. So it's right there if you need it. But no, even more, we have to force you to take it. Hmm, really? But it's about protecting my health. Even if I know with certainty, or that's another thing. I would love to listen. As much as I know we're all paying into this socialist healthcare system and we're all getting scammed constantly about it. And in addition to, hey, hashtag taxation is theft and all that stuff, is listen, I would be more than willing myself personally, take me off your socialist healthcare bullshit. This is the thing that drives me nuts is they force you into this socialist healthcare system. And then they say because they're fucking incompetence and they're inadequate facilities and all that stuff, right? Or inadequate funding or whatever the excuse they use. In reality, a lot of it's a shortage of staff and fired a bunch of them. But whatever excuse they use, right, is oh well, we don't want these unvaccinated filling up beds in these hospitals and using up these resources. Okay, cool, totally cool. Give me the option to fucking opt out of your stupid socialist quasi or what you would call a safety net. Please, it's the furthest thing possible from that, as can be clearly seen over at least the last couple of years, right? But like I say, just let me opt out of it. Give me the option to have a private, service provided to me. I'm good. I'm good. No more excuses. Whether you're the vaccinated that hates the unvaccinated, or Trudeau and his ilk, or these leftists, or these identity politics types, or the pro-vaxxers, or the pro-lockdowners, or the pro-mandates. Like I say, this can all be easily figured out. See, no forced mandatory vaccinations at all, right? None of that shit is necessary or needed. All you got to do is, okay, you fuckers don't want to get vaccinated, right? You want to teach us a lesson? Go ahead. Please teach me a lesson by taking me completely out of your shitty ass system. Give me back my fucking money that I paid into it. And as a matter of fact, I want back, right? I want for years back because I haven't been to the hospital and holy crap. I don't know. I'd have to really sit down and think about how many years it's been since I've even been to the hospital. So yeah, I want all that back that I've been paying into this piece of shit system that I don't fucking use anyways, right? Unless I'm really seriously desperate. Half the time, I think I'd rather die in the side of the ditch. At least I'd have a little more dignity. Then the ditch is probably better than at least it's like, but he had nowhere to go rather than being a hospital lined up in the fucking hallway somewhere, right? It's like, no, please give me a little dignity. Let me die in the ditch somewhere. But like I say, nope, they force us into a system. And then they say, well, if you don't, do all this crap because you're going to use up resource. Like, it's just it's sometimes it's hard to believe that these are actual fucking adults. Like their minds seem like they haven't even developed to adulthood yet. This is someone that's acting like a little child throwing a temper tantrum. I'm gonna get you, damn you. Or uh, even better yet, like some fucking irate dipshit moron like Hitler with shoulders about this fucking wide. You ever seen that guy? Is like I say, folks, people like to pull off the narrative about fascism is right wing. Like I don't fuck the right or left wing bullshit. That all to me is so crazy. But in reality, if you think about it, look at the kind of people who like socialism or fascism or collectivism or sacrifice an individual for the collective and all this. Look at it. I mean, think about who these kind of people truly are, right? People that can't. I mean, they were mad at the successful, very successful Jews to the point, and resentful and envious to the point where they wanted to kill them all, right? Gee, what kind of people typically identify as ones that are so loathsome and envious of people who are successful than? Typically not usually right wingers, are they? Right? Which is why it's so weird. And I mean, look at today. Look at today. Which side, and like I said, I don't like playing this left right divide, but because people believe in it, right? The belief is there, but look at which side is being the most authoritarian everywhere you go. Bunch of lefties, right? I mean, even if you talk about like a conservative government in like let's say the UK or Australia or something, listen, 15, 20 years ago, they would have been considered liberals. No kidding. I kid you not. The rhetoric they espresso, they call themselves on the right, I guess, if they want to, whatever. But either way, well, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense when you think about it versus in the authoritarian versus libertarian kind of mindset, right? But not when you're talking left versus right. Like I say, but anyways, forget about that because yeah, that's beating a dead horse, and this divisive stuff with left versus right drives me nuts already. But I mean, look at this now. So Ryan Tomati and Michael Higgins was who reported on this, and this was January 7th of 2022. Let's just read a little bit here to see what this guy had to say. Ottawa Health Minister Jean-Yves Duclos said he believes mandatory vaccinations will happen in Canada. Duclos signaled Friday, enough already, that provincial governments should be discussing mandatory vaccinations, saying it is a conversation that has to happen as unvaccinated patients continue to put strain on hospitals. See, this is the excuse they're using. So once again, like I say, I mean, they already think we're garbage anyways. They already want to treat us like second, third class citizens. So like I say, why don't they just allow us to opt out? I'm totally on board with that. I know some of you people might not be, right? But I'm saying for me personally, take me off the list then. I'll make my own way. Thank you very much. Asked about mandatory vaccination, he said in French, I personally think we will get there at some point. According to a translation on CBC, he added, I see it coming personally. Not now. I don't think we are there yet, but I think discussions need to be had about mandatory vaccinations because we have to get rid of COVID-19. So get rid of. So zero COVID, right? You just got to eliminate it, right? Which is basically an impossibility. So how does he reckon to do that? Anyways, oh, that's right too. I forgot to send out notifications to a couple other. Hey, by the way, I'm on Getter as well. Sent out the notifications just now on Getter. Matter of fact, I sent it to the Rumble so we can get a few peeps watching on the Rumble side of things. Sending it out to Minds. Here we go. It's out on Minds. It's out on Minds. I'm live. I'm live. All right, let's close down there. Getter seems like a pretty good alternative to Twitter. And what was it? Like 1 million people joined up after what was it? The whole thing with the there's so much to think about. But yeah, it was like what was it, the Joe Rogan thing with the Mike with the Malone or something? Or who got kicked off? No, someone else got kicked off of Twitter. Oh, there's just so much that takes place. But anyways, yeah, like 1 million people joined up. So it's good to see that people are standing up. Anyways, let me just bring that off, and I'm going to come back in, see how you folks are doing in the chat here, see what you have to say. See what you have to say regarding this potential for a mandate. It's coming. Hey, been a while. Hey, sub god 123. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been a while for sure. I'm not sure actually how long it's been, but thank you for joining the stream. I actually, if some of you folks wouldn't mind, if you don't mind, like I say, you don't have to, whatever. But I'm just curious to know if you would put it in. Actually, no, because I can't read the comments. I don't think from Rumble. So I would assume everyone that I can see the comments right now are watching this on YouTube because I believe, yeah, it says down here can't post comments to some destinations. Learn more. Some destinations won't get comments. So I probably still got to figure out how to get the comments going on the old Rumble side of things. But so I would imagine you folks are all seeing this on the old YouTube. Hello from Miracle Beach. Hello, healer, MLB, FBV. Hello to you. And Miracle Beach, BC. Miracle Beach, British Columbia. Awesome. Yes. Okay, John Doe. You're doing a great job. You don't give up. Thanks, John Doe. No, I don't give up. That is one thing I am, is very persistent. Thank you very much. Leader of BC Libertarian Party moves to file hate crime charges against Justin Trudeau. You know, here's the problem with that. I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you very much, actually, for bringing that up, healer, FPV, because I had someone else talking about that. But as you folks probably realize this, I mean, if I answered everyone that comments, like, and, I like to talk for, explain things in depth and stuff. But could you imagine trying to type out comments? Like the kind of comments that in-depth comments for everyone that asks the questions, like I just can't, which is why I usually reserve that stuff and try to cover it on these live streams or my videos, right? But yeah, thanks for bringing it up. So really, here's my thoughts on that. I don't believe in hate speech. There's no such thing as hate speech. I mean, come on, how many times do we got to say that? But just because now, like, this is the crazy part about people when they lack the ability to have a moral compass or principled position. That's the thing. If you have a principled position, you don't got to keep playing these stupid contradictory games with yourself, right? Or have all these contradictions all the time because it really gets hard on the head. Trust me, I've spent years of my life, many even now I'm trying to work through them, right? I'm not perfect. I still got some growth, a lot of growth, but I remember I've come a long ways compared to let's say 10 years ago. And yeah, like you say one thing and then you educate yourself, you get more enlightened, and you're like, oh, you look back, it's like, oh, why did I say that's not right? That's I didn't put nearly enough thought into that before I said it, right? So I try to do better. And once again, I know we're all fallible human beings, but I mean hate speech. I mean, unless you want that turned around and used against you, like that's the thing. You would be literally setting precedent that if you say something like call people names, because that's all really Trudeau was doing is calling people names. Now, if you want to get to the point of defamation, right? Of defamation or um the potential for what would it be soliciting or eliciting violence or something like that or advocating for. I mean, there are some areas within the criminal code in terms of the fact that he's basically telling other Canadians like it's like a dog whistle, like just like what they did with Trump down the US with the insurrection kind of stuff, right? It's like, and once again, I don't agree with any of that stuff either. But I mean, using books and precedent that's already set and examples to use, that's much better than trying to widen that scope by creating precedent of using hate speech laws. Because think about how bad that could be used back against anyone, right? No, I don't. Now, me, I personally, I don't think it would ever affect me because I don't target like people based on their groups. Like, I like to deal with people as individuals. Now, I do make generalized statements and stuff, but never like in terms of like hate or loathe them or you should despise like those people or anything. None of that foolishness. So, me personally would never be affected. But like I say, I just think of the ramifications of setting a precedent of like criminally charging someone for calling people names. Like once again, Trudeau's a fucking idiot, right? See, look, I just did it myself, right? For doing that. But I think he should be allowed at the very least, even though, he is a big time bully. And the guy, like I said, and I don't know if I've uploaded that video yet or if I've already posted or if it's coming up, but yeah, is when the guy that's in charge of, the, the provincial government or the federal government, like the leader of of a country like Canada that has all that power, might, and force of the state at his disposal, targeting like individual Canadians or groups of Canadians that are just like nobodies, right? With no power or anything like that of their own. Yeah, that is the epitome of the bully or of political intimidation. I mean, there's all kinds of things, and it's definitely disgusting, right? But no, 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 I don't believe, and especially a Libertarian Party leader. Like, really? I mean, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me that you're going to want um to use the state. I mean, it just to me, it just sounds like a terrible, terrible idea. But yeah, I'm just going to move on beyond that because that's basically my thoughts on it. Is yeah, I just don't agree with it. But thanks for bringing that up, right? Because it's something we have to, like I say, you might have a different opinion than mine, and of course, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But I definitely I don't agree with it. Well, you said it right, sir. LOL. Others avoid it. Oh, oh, sire or sir, sire. Sorry, sorry. I was doing good, and then I had to go and mess it all up. Right. Good day, Paul Bissonette. Good day, sir. Good evening, actually, if you're in New Brunswick here. But good day to you. Yes, he's definitely a fucking idiot. I agree. Right. And I should be able to say that. Of course. And so should you. Seems like there's nothing healthy looking about the health minister. He looks like a frail old man that can't do 10 push-ups or run around the block. More than likely, like I say, these people like the health. I mean, it's so crazy. Hey, Wendy, how you doing? Hello. Hi, Bennett, everyone. Okay, Joe Creep. How can something that can't stop you from getting it possibly be making you less sick if you get it? That's the stupidest thing. I know. Hey, if you think you've heard the craziest stuff, I believe me, I bet there's further yet to fall. More to go. More room to grow, I guess. They're growing their horns and tails. Planted leaders. Miscellaneous silliness. Hello. Thank you for joining the stream as well. Canadians have health insurance but don't have health care. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well said. Miscellaneous silliness. Okay. Nor will I. Nor will I. I do it to protect my family and friends, yet I can't get it and spread it. Yet I can get it and spread it. Yeah, I know, right? I know. I know. I know. I know. Makes sense, right? Not. Okay. What do we got here? You won't get sick. Oh, you won't get sick or die. Not true. 87% of hospital and people are dying. Haha, all jabbed up. Yeah. Now that I can't say with any certainty. Didn't renew my Medicare card 3 years ago. Uh, Sandwiches and pudding to diabetics trapped. Hospitals feeding sandwiches and pudding to diabetics trapped in there on an oxygen tank against their will. Okay, where are we at here? What's going on, team thing? Just 2 zillion more injections of the vaccine to flatten the curve. We're almost there. No, we're not. Not even close. Oh, wait a sec here. I've been forbidden seeing my mother at her long-term care home since October. Bastards. That is an absolute shame. That is an absolute shame. And I lost my two. I had only two grandmothers I had from my dad's side, my mother's side, that I've lost within the past year in the long-term care facilities as well. And unfortunately, I didn't have the option of visiting them before they passed. So I know that how that is, and I feel terrible about anyone that's gone through that situation. It's rough out there, folks. Anyways, I see that it looks like I got my a donation here. Just one sec here. I scroll down. Leish Sharat donated $10. Oh, thank you very much. I figured you would have had a question in there or something. Feel free to post a question down there, Le Sharat. I really appreciate your kind and generous donation. And like I say, feel free to put a comment in there, and I'll highlight it and answer it to the best of my ability if I can. But really appreciate your generous donation. That's very kind of you. Please talk about mandatory vax mandates. What can we do if Trudeau tries this? Okay, Susan Barnes. Okay, well that's what I'm doing, and that's where we're at there right now. So thank you for joining the stream there, Susan. Um, Bands. So one thing I will say in terms of the mandatory vaccines is now, like I say, I don't want people to get too lax about this, but here are my thoughts on it. I don't doubt for a minute that there's some people within both the federal and provincial governments and healthcare systems who want to enact this. No doubt about that in my mind. Matter of fact, I could say with almost 100% certainty that is real. The problem is how are they going to make this work? Because once again, just like I was talking about with the hate speech thing, once you set precedent, right, here's the problem. And in addition to that, so let me just back up just a little bit. Not sure if you folks are aware. Actually, let me bring that up. Okay. Okay, just one sec here. I'll find that real quick here. Yeah, here it is. I hate to use them as a source. Let me see if I can't find. I had a few different ones here. Yeah, let's use the Reuters one. Their headline isn't as good. But yeah, we'll use Reuters anyways, because then I'm not, at the very least, I'm not giving CNN any revenue or views. Okay, so here it is right here. So I'm not sure if you folks are aware of this, but on Monday, well, they've already heard the case. And Monday, I believe, is when they're going to, well, by Monday, actually, is when they have to hand down the decision because of when the mandate in the US, that Biden mandate for vaccines is supposed to get enacted, right? So Monday is the date for that. So that decision, I would suggest, is going to be handed down. Today's Saturday, so it's got to be between now and Monday, right? But so far, what I've read, and like I say, there was a Washington, or not Washington Post. Oh, it was a National Post, actually, a National Post article. And since it's a Canadian publication, I'll find that again and put that in the link of this stream as well. But it basically alluded to the same thing as what this one is saying. Let me make sure actually you folks can see that. Yeah, you can. Okay. So, United States Supreme Court conservatives lean against Biden business vaccine policy. Washington, January 7th, Reuters. Conservative U.S. Supreme Court justice on Friday questioned the legality of President Joe Biden's pandemic-related vaccine or testing mandate for large businesses, but appeared more receptive to his administration's vaccine requirements for healthcare facilities at a time of surging COVID-19 cases. The court's 9 justices, who are all vaccinated, heard more than 3.5 hours of arguments in 2 cases that tested presidential powers to combat a raging public health crisis that already has killed roughly 835,000 Americans. The conservative justices, who hold a 6-3 majority. Now, keep in mind, folks, Trump appointed 3, right? So it was 5-4, when Trump took office. I believe it was 5-4 liberals. That's a crazy thing when you're talking about the Supreme Court justice, the fact that you can say that they're politically aligned in such a way. It just shows what a farce it is, right? Independent, unbiased, objective. No, they're completely politically biased, which they're even admitting here. They don't even try to hide it anymore. But Trump appointed 3 conservative judges, which totally changed, and there was a couple of retirements. So the court now, it went from a 5-4 Democrat or liberal leaning. I hate to use the term liberal because they're not liberal by any stretch, but the collectivists, right? But anyways, leaning side to went from 5-4 that way to 6-3 for the conservative side of things, which would be the Republicans, which should, in theory, be completely against any federal mandate to impose vaccine mandates on private businesses or any establishment for that matter. So, like I say, that will be a big thing. This is because if these Supreme Court justices strike that down, it's going to be really, really difficult, right, for the Canadian courts once it finally winds its way through, which is going to take a whole lot longer. Americans, much faster, much quicker, much more on top of things than Canadians. It's always been that way, folks. I'm sorry. That's just the reality. Don't get mad at me. Don't shoot the messenger, but it's just the reality. And they know how to fight for the freedoms a whole lot better than Canadians. Sorry, it's just a reality. Don't get triggered. Don't get all nationalists on me. But anyways, but like I say, these Supreme Court justices, I mean, if they respect the Constitution and the proper limiting of federal powers, right, then it's basically an all but done deal that they're going to strike it down. Now, like I say, there might be something they leave in there, like for some healthcare workers, and I would suspect that if there was anything even remotely resembling a mandate for healthcare workers, it's not going to be a blanket thing. Maybe if you're someone that's taking care of peds or people who are really, really, really vulnerable or susceptible, you could see maybe some small area there, right? But once again, even that, I don't know if it's going to take place. They might even decide to postpone that part of the decision to a later date so they can, get much more input to it. But in terms of this blanket thing, I think it's a done deal. I think not going to happen. I don't now. I hope I'm not proven wrong. And once again, I don't know. I'm just guessing. I'm just speculating. I could be wrong. But I believe, Americans, there's enough of them out down there that at least still want to maintain that semblance of individual liberty and be that beacon of liberty for the world, right? And I believe that they will do the right thing by striking this down, right? Or at least the biggest part of it, which would make it, like I said, that much more difficult for them to start doing it in Canada, at least at the federal level. Now, what that federal minister did say is they're going to try to leave it to the provinces. But once again, when the federal ministers come in and saying I believe what that's being done now is just like with Macron and them and some of these authoritarian, these petty thugs and tyrants, right? I believe what they're trying to do at this point in time is just scare you into submission, into compliance. I believe a lot of this is just a lot of chest pumping and oh yeah, I believe that's what that is. They're just trying to get people like the anti-vaxxers, the people just don't want to get vaxxed. They're trying to get to the point where you're like, eventually they're going to come for me, so I might as well just relent, just go do it now and get it over with. I believe that's the purpose and the intention of suggesting that they're going to introduce a mandate. But once again, because of that letter and because the potential's there and because everything so far has come to light, it's still very much a real possibility. But like I say, it still has to go through the court processes. Or even in terms of legislation, even if they enact legislation, it still has to be tested, right, by the courts. So there's still a multitude of steps that have to take place before they can just implement a mandate. And once again, by sheer fact that he's suggesting or alluding to the fact that it will be done by the provinces, because that's the thing in Canada, health care and stuff like that that's a provincial jurisdiction, right? So the federal government doesn't even have the powers to do so. And we already know now, not that I trust Jason Kenney, but we do know that in Alberta a year ago, they already created legislation that said that no, you cannot mandate. They removed that from the possibility of doing so in their legislature in Alberta. Now, of course, they can go in and change that, but once again, it would require changing at the legislature level, right? So don't get too panicky just yet, folks. Like I say, definitely keep this in mind, and this is something that is definitely a threat to us, no doubt about it. But it's not here yet, and we still have lots of like I say, when it comes to the protesting, and I've said this multiple times before, I'm all for protesting, but only if you can get the numbers large enough out there where, like I say, the police, the enforcers, they recognize there's not a damn thing they can do. But like just like when I watched that Rebel reporter with what was it, like just a few hundred people trying to protest the curfews and all that craziness that's going on in Quebec. Well, if the police outnumber you, right, in terms of a protest group, yeah, it's not going to work out well for you. It's not going to work out for you. In not large enough numbers, like I say, it changes the paradigm. And even if you just had 100,000 people standing all shoulder to shoulder with each other, right, and just stood there in silence, not doing a darn thing, the message that sends, the visual, the cues, like what the Canadian people, how they would perceive of that once they seen it, it would change the mentality and the psychology of so many people in Canada, not just the masses, but like I say, these people's in positions of authority, right? Or healthcare, these experts and stuff. So that, and of course, challenge them, right, through the legal means. And of course, at the same time, finding ways to, and this is what I've been saying for years, is to get these alternative systems so that once again, if they get to the point where you can't do anything, you can't go to this place, you can't go to this place, you can't go to this place. Well, like I say, that's why we have to build our own economies of scale alongside them. You know, cryptocurrencies, gold, silver, there are a multitude of things, right, that we can use to escape having to use their fiat currencies and their systems. Like I say, if you look throughout history, and I pay astute attention and I read, I'm an observer and I read profusely. And a lot of times throughout history, that is how it's taken place, right? Now, violent revolutions, that happens, and that's a bad thing. But in reality today, the best thing we can do is, like I say, what I've coined is the intellectual evolution, enlightenment era 2.0, and get enough people, right? Entrepreneurs, business minded people, capitalists, right? Free markets, free individuals, independents, right? Genuine classical liberals, genuine conservatives, people that just are done with this collectivism, this top down tyranny. And like I say, just start open up businesses, right? I mean, think about it. How do you think after prohibition, right? How do you think the underground or the black market for alcohol, it grew? I mean, people made tremendous amounts of money during prohibition. Yeah, a lot of people got hurt and harmed along the way, no doubt about it. But a huge underground economy started, right? And same with marijuana and the war on drugs. The marijuana industry took off and grew like right through the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. I mean, to the point where it was so huge that government said, well, we got to get in on a piece of that multi-billion-dollar action, right? So once again, all you have to do is be able to have a place and people who are willing to cater to or offer you these service or these products or things that you need to sustain yourself. And once again, being self-sustaining, being more local and dealing with immediate members in your community, such as neighbors, coming closer to each other to with each other and helping each other. There's a multitude, a myriad of ways that we can not only vacate the state and kind of help our fellow citizens and Canadians along the way. But once again, we can even help ourselves become more successful economically. Economically, learn to be entrepreneurs, right? To be business owners and operators and stuff. Now, like I say, this is what's got to take place. There have been people for the last 10 years, well, since 2011, who've been building infrastructure and structures and systems to at least have ways for payment methods, right? For exchanges of value, right? For retentions of value, for mediums of exchange, and for now even for transactions. So we know that Bitcoin's not the greatest for a lot of transactions, but we're seeing things like Dogecoin and Ethereum, which is great for the smart contracts, which is going to be amazing, right? Think about it. You don't even need banking institutions or middleman to set up contracts with people now these days. You can use the underlying structure of the blockchain for those purposes. And then, like I say, you can use things like Dogecoin or other of these cryptocurrencies or things such as like silver, or like I say, there are lots of geniuses and people that have come up with a multitude of ways for us to not just vacate the state, but like I say, create our own economy alongside of outside of it, right? So, like I say, we got to get to the point where it's the emperor's blah, 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 and but he's like, you laugh at him. He's got no clothes because he's no real threat to you. Because there's nothing that he or his mindless forcers can genuinely do to you, right? I mean, unless they want to truly ramp it up to the point where they're just what, just going house to house and dragging you out. I mean, once we get to that point, then folks, I shouldn't really have to tell you. If we get the point where they're coming door to door, dragging you out of your house and taking you to the gulag, well, I really shouldn't have to tell you at that point what you should do. You want to defend yourself. You might want to protect yourself. You might want to get ready. Right? So, but like I say, up until that point, there's still enough residue or residual aspects of the market and what market economics means and how price discovery works. There's enough of that left, and enough genius entrepreneurs and people that would help in that regard, right? That yeah, I'm not too overly concerned. What I am concerned with is the precedent it sets, and how much further it takes us away from the path of liberty and towards that path of tyranny, or into a modern form of dark ages where it lasts for, I don't know, maybe hundreds of years. That's the long-term prospects that I'm fearful of, right? But yeah, anyways, I know that was big, long friggin' answer. Sorry about that, but that's my thinking. I better scroll up there. I don't know how many more comments have come since but sorry about that. But yeah, like I say, there's a lot of things that we can do as individuals and as groups to help each other. And like I say, put yourself in a position, surround yourself with the right kind of people. So you got enough people in your immediate life, in your immediate vicinity, that it won't be such a threat to you as it will to be the others. That's some of my advice. But anyways, don't forget to share this channel as well. Also amazing. Thank you, Joe Creep. Is that me or someone else? But thank you very much. Appreciate it. Hey, keep your guns. Yeah, definitely. You might want that just in case, right? Right. Mandates are just words on paper. Making it happen is another story. It's all going to unravel. That I would agree with you right there. Exactly. You're absolutely correct there, Len. Right. It's easy to pound that fist and all that stuff. It's quite a day. Right. We're talking about this yesterday too. And I gotta firmly believe that if it ever gets to that really, really nasty point, right, where things have broken down and like they are starting, or the threats are that are coming to your door, I believe some of the enforcers in the police divisions and services, because they're used to dealing with the public, the domestic public, and treating them like garbage, right? So it's not that far of a stretch or far removed from what they already do to do some of this stuff, as we see. But for the military, in particular, in Canada, right? There's no precedent of any of our men and women in the military, using the full force and might of the state against their own citizens, against their own fellow people. You got to remember, these people in the military aren't isolated all alone by themselves. They have families, right, in this country. members of their own family who are probably standing up for their freedoms, right? So there's one thing I will say, and I'm not 100% confident in this. And I do recognize they're trying to change the culture of the military and the kind of people in the military and what that military stands for. But I believe right now, as it stands, most of the people who comprise the military, especially the boots on the ground, like, right, the grunts, the soldiers, right? I believe most of them would never, ever enforce any of these goddamn mandates or be part and parcel of it, of treating their own citizens like second class citizens or oppressing them or tyrannizing them in such a way. I firmly believe that most of the people in the military in this country would not go along with that. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. It's just a hunch, folks. Just a hunch. Maybe you're talking about what's her name there? Anyways, let's see here. Stu Peters, okay. Oh, creepy little girl. What's going on? Same here. Screw tube shadow bands a lot. Yeah, no doubt there. No doubt. Okay. It cuts off immediately when the show it does. This how it works. U.S. military is the only way out. Brandon, noise gate. If I leave a message, yeah, that's weird. I've seen some people say that. I have no idea why that's it. You mean a comment, right? You mean a comment, right? Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why that happens. Anyways, you have a problem with the mic? Really? Let me open this up on YouTube and see what's going on. Oh, let me stop the sharing here. Let me make sure we were doing so good. We were doing so good. Let's see where we're at. Geez, you'd think when I open YouTube, my own stream would show up. But nope, gotta go find it. Here we go. Wait a minute. Nope, gotta go find it. Here we go. I'm hearing my sound. It seems to be working there. I'm not sure. Maybe it wasn't earlier. That's the thing. I'm not sure. Anyways, so let me scroll back down here. I missed a tremendous amount of comments. Thanks for all you folks that are so active in the comments. What a great bunch of people you are. But yeah, where was I going? Oh, I wanted to bring this up too, since we're already here. And like I say, I'm going to try to keep this live stream. What are we at? 47 minutes. I don't even want to go past an hour and a half. Matter of fact, even if I can tie this up, maybe even around the hour mark and not too long past it, so that people, because I know some people are like 2 hours, 3 hours. Well, I can't watch that. But anyways, like I say, try to get through a few more things here because this, like I say, this is my first test of the old live stream on Rumble, and hopefully try to entice people to watch it over there. And like I say, the shorter time I think might entice them. But I did want to bring this up and show you folks. Share. And like I say, anything that I put on here, I always make sure to link in the description of the stream so that you folks have the source. That's the thing. People always say, oh, this, but they never put the links to the sources. Like, dang, put the link to your source when you're talking with that stuff so I can verify or other people can verify. That's, to me, that's a really important thing to do is give people the ability to verify that you're not bullshitting, right? And not just the fact that so they can prove that you're not bullshitting, but so that they can use that information, right? Because if they just take the words that I say and they say, oh, I heard Canadian libertarians say that this, then that just tells, that's just the person, especially if they're hesitant to believe anything you say because it's not going along with the narrative, right? Well, they'll just say, oh, that guy's just a nut bar or a conspiracy. There's all them libertarians are, they'll say, but if you give them, oh, look, right from your thought leaders, like the National Post or the CBC or the Global News, it's like, oh, look, even right from your own thought leader source, it's verifying and validating what Bennett or Canadian Libertarians saying. See, it's right here, right? So at least that will help them away because, like, oh, that's a source I trust. So, you know what I mean? That's why I do what I do, folks. That's why I do what I do. At least give them a trust. Canadians trust CBC and CTV. So here you go. Here's a CTV source, right? I can find that information in alternative sources, but here we're trying to entice, the people of Canada to realize that we're trying to be honest, forthright, truthful with them. So, like I say, we have no agenda. We're using the establishment media sources for crying out loud. So right? Anyways, there it is. So I'll just read a little bit here. Vaccinated hospital patients outpace the unvaccinated, but it doesn't mean the shots don't work. Experts. Apparently, this was it. Um, can't remember who it was that reported on this there yesterday. And actually, the headline was totally different, but they changed the headline. Must have been someone high up there at CTV didn't like the headliner, so they redid it and added, but it doesn't mean the shots don't work. And then, of course, you got to add the experts. It's just so funny. Like experts, they are so destroying and soiling the very term expert. I tell you, people are gonna. It might end up being a slang joke, a derogatory thing at some point in time. Expert, right? No doubt, right? I mean, look at like the way they're using the word so loosely these days. So this was originally Calgary. Tim Brunch, he's a CTV News Calgary video journalist, and this was uploaded January 6, 2022. Numbers showing the majority of Alberta COVID-19 hospital admissions are in vaccinated individuals don't tell the entire story, regardless of what some conspiracy theorists believe. So, I mean, that's the thing. The minute they start calling you conspiracy theorists, though, like it's like, okay, that's it. This guy's not going to be honest, objective, or unbiased. In reality, I should just move on, right? Albertans with at least one shot took over more hospital beds than those without this week, but the raw numbers are incomplete. And a dive into the data shows being vaccinated may be more important now than ever before. As of Thursday, 217 unvaccinated Albertans were in hospital with COVID-19 compared to 282 with at least one shot. But almost 90% of the provinces has one dose, which means the rate per 100,000 people. So see how they change it? Right? The minute their fucking narrative gets destroyed, they just look for more like say, what's that? There's statistics, or how's that saying go again? There's so many. There's lies, damn lies, and statistics, right? So they're just finding another way to just completely manipulate or start from a whole new different means of measuring things, right? So every time you beat them at their own game, they just start up another game. So, like I say, it just shows how inept and how much failures they truly are. And the fact that they started out calling people conspiracy theorists. And I mean, to call people who have been right all along, lad, right? At every junction, every time to call them the conspiracy theorists when these experts are the ones who've been proven wrong time and time and time and time again, and it's documented and proven and recorded by multiples of people like myself. I mean, really, I mean, what a stretch it is to call people like myself or others conspiracy theorists. Like I say, so much fail. I mean, well, when all you've got left, right, is to call people's names, you've lost the argument. That's it. You're done. You might as well exit stage left, right? Because you're done. You're over. Give that man the hook, right? What's going on, Rectitude Media? But yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine the insanity? But yeah, and once again, this is not me targeting the vaccinated. I got nothing against people that chose to get vaccinated. I got people in my own immediate, well, not my immediate family. I won't say that, right? But people that are close enough to me, close in my life that have got vaccinated. They used, of course, none of them went out and was like, oh, I just want to get a vaccine. Every one of them, bar none, like no, with not one exception, did it. It was like, I need it for my job or I need it to travel. So they did it because they were being forced to do it, right? But I don't even know where I was going. Anyways, let me see what Rectitude is saying here. They are finally admitted this isn't a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Here in Canada, when every other Western nation has admitted it weeks ago, how can we even ever trust them again? This is Canada. And I tell you, folks, and like I say, I'm not, well, how do you, like I say, I don't say this just to blindly insult or be derogatory to people, but Canada's got to do a lot better. America has always done much better. And I got to tell you, I don't say this, as a means because I'm angry or resentful. I say this because I want Canadians to do better. I look America in terms of understand liberty and respect and liberty. I want to do better. So I look to who's the people or who's the place on this planet that does liberty best, right? And yes, even though America has fallen a long way, they still do. And going all the way back to when I was a kid, I mean, this is something that's been so it's just common knowledge since I was a teenager and get into breakdancing. And yeah, that's a long time ago back in the early 80s. Right? But I remember, started breakdancing was a thing in the US and in places like New York City and underground mixtapes and really good hardcore rap and stuff like in hip hop. And then it eventually made it up to like Ontario and Quebec, central part of Canada. Then it made it to New Brunswick. But Canada has always been behind the frickin' times in so many areas, in so many regards when it comes to Americans. So I don't think it should even be a surprise that, yeah, Canada's way behind the times in comparison and contrast to a myriad of other countries. And yeah, not even just the US. And once again, it's not me. Like I know people get this nationalist thing. He's like, don't insult my country. Listen, I live in this country too. I'm just telling you, that's just a reality that I've observed. Maybe you haven't, but it is mine. Anyways, yeah, thanks for your comment there. Hey, what's going on, Lorraine Armstrong? Canada requires an actual parliamentary system, not one for a ship in the ocean. It is way beyond time to get our poop in the group or just join the US and be done. Hey, listen, I would love to just join the US at this point, to be honest with you. But thanks for your comment. Click the blue links for more data. Yes, there's usually always links. Okay. Vaccines are so great that the pharmaceutical companies take zero responsibility for any damage they cause. Impressive. Yeah, right. That's like not like standing behind your product. Okay. Remember 2 years ago, July 1st, Ottawa, the narrative has been the same. Steve, what's going on? Or Stuart, sorry. Stuart, what's going on, my friend? Yeah, right. Plus, the police have become militarized. Yeah. Crazy, right? That is some crazy stuff. Anyways, like I say, I'm just trying to see if there's mic's okay. Oh, maybe because I'm leaning over that way. That's probably what it is, folks. You know what it is? I have to, this mic, you have to be literally right speaking into it. If you get too far off to the sides, it drops off quite a bit. Mic's okay. It's just been when you, yeah, gotcha. Maybe move the mic to your left. Yeah. Yes, actually. Good idea. Good idea. Thank you very much. Good idea, tame thing. That will definitely fix the issue, I would imagine. Excalibur, Australia is a Commonwealth nation, and look how that's turned. Wow, right? Canada's trying to catch up to Australia at this point in time, it seems. Canada requires an actual. Oh, okay, I already read that one. Okay, folks. So I'm just looking here. Let's see where we're at the time. 57 minutes. So you know what? Yeah, let's tie this bad boy up, this stream up. Try to keep it under an hour. Like I say, I'll make sure that is included in the link. Of course, there's another thing too. I'll include this as well. Quebec expands vaccine passport to liquor and cannabis stores and with third dose requirement on the way. So yeah, Quebecers will need to show proof vaccination to enter to get your liquor at the liquor store or the weed. But in addition to that, and this is reported by CBC News and a few other publications, but Quebec will expand its vaccination passport system so that users will eventually be required to have 3 doses of a COVID-19 vaccine in order to use it. Health Minister Christian Dubé announced during a news conference Thursday. So like I said, I'll place that in the link as well. So yeah, even if you're double vaxxed right now, very soon the time is coming where you're not going to be fully vaxxed anymore. You're going to be in the same bus as the rest of us, and you're going to have to get that booster. And how many more times that going to play out? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. But it's about time for the people who are vaxxed up and who have been supporting these governments all along to finally step up and say, enough is enough. Join us, right? Because we all got to live in this country together after this, folks. So, whether you're vaxxed or unvaxxed, regardless, left, right, or whoever you are, let's not let these figureheads who are trying to divide and tear this country apart. Let's not let them win. Let's come together, support each other, respect each other's sovereignty, individuality, and liberty, and do the right thing. And we'll come out on the other side of this much better than it could be if we allow them to continue this kind of divisive narrative. Anyways, folks, you all have yourself a great Saturday evening. Like I say, make sure you let people know about this live stream and the fact that I'm going to be live streaming on Rumble from now on. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend. Skate Libertarian.